What is going on, everybody? My name is Chris, and today we're looking at the latest Tesla software update on the public branch 2022.20.6. Now this brings a few updates. We're going to go over those, what those are. We're going to try them out. I'll try to demonstrate those for you. And yeah, we'll see how they're performing. But the first thing I want to say is if you have beta on your car, beta is typically behind the public build in the software versions. So if there's features that the public build has, like we're going to talk about today, if beta doesn't already have those, it's usually behind. So on the next beta update, I would expect any of these that you don't have if you're on beta are going to come with that one. But sometimes it takes a couple of updates before the beta branch will catch up with these wider features. So just so you know, I get a lot of questions about that. So yeah, let's go through the release notes. There's not a ton here, but really nice improvements I'm excited about. Let's check them out and then test them out. All right, going through the release notes here. If you do enjoy this video, please hit like and get subscribed. So the first thing is cabin camera autopilot improvement. The cabin camera above your rearview mirror can determine driver inattentiveness. Now you may be saying, hey, what the heck, I've had this for a while. Well, S and X refresh, actually any S and X did not have this, so they've brought it to the S and X refresh. This is again on the public build, so without beta. Beta on S and X, I'm pretty sure already does this, but we'll test this out and see how good it is. I haven't noticed it yet. I haven't used this car a ton, but I haven't noticed it detecting me much, but we'll test it out. Actually, I like this one. I think it's really well used and usually pretty accurate. So next one, seatbelt system enhancement. Now this we will not be testing out, but basically the car is going to do a better job of assuming what to do with the seatbelts in the event of an upcoming crash. So using the cameras, using the vision system. Sometimes we'll get phantom braking. Hopefully we're not going to get phantom seatbelt adjustments where the car is like tightening the seatbelt on you, thinking a crash is going to happen when it's not. I can't imagine that's going to happen. I haven't heard of it, so we'll see. But yeah, not one we're going to test out today because I'm not going to get in a crash today, I hope. So next is Tesla adaptive suspension. So S and X with the air suspension already do this. When you're on a rough road, the car can detect that and you'll get a little message that says adjusting suspension to improve ride comfort. Depending on your settings, you can have it automatically do it or you can just set it so it won't change. I do have it set to automatically do it, and it's pretty common on the dirt roads for it to lift the suspension up one notch to improve comfort, and it's really nice to have that. Well, what this update is going to do is actually use map data where Tesla knows other Teslas have been and they've experienced a rough road. The car is going to preemptively, before you get to that area, when you're on your way to it, raise the suspension. So it's already ready for your comfort and to get everything comfortable for you without even feeling the bumps yet. So that is an awesome improvement. We'll see if that pops up. It'll be hard to know the difference from the user's perspective, though, of if the car is detecting a bumpy road and then adjusting, or if it's getting ready for that, unless there's a specific message. But I would assume that it's just going to tell you it's raising the suspension, but we'll see if we catch this one. All right, then last up is green traffic light chime. I love this feature, and this has now come to base autopilot. So this used to be full self-driving only exclusive feature. You had to have full self-driving for this, which I always thought was ridiculous. So I'm glad they brought it to everybody. So say you're the first one at a traffic light, it turns green, you don't do anything. The car's just going to give you a nice little ding. It's pretty gentle. I really enjoy it because, you know, for people like me who have the attention span of a gnat, pick up your phone at a red light. You know, I can't just look around the world and, you know, see what's going on. It's just, anyway, the car will give you a little ding. You can continue from there. What's also cool about this is if you're not the first car in line, say there's two cars ahead of you or whatever, when the car in front of you goes after it turns green, if you don't move, it'll also ding in that instance. So if you're not the first car, it's not going to ding at you. Only if you're not paying attention or for whatever reason you don't move forward, it'll give you a nice little ding, and then you can take action from there. So really nice to see that on the base autopilot build, the public build, without full self-driving, without beta or anything. So yeah, let's go for a little ride. Let's check this stuff out and see if we can catch some of these. Let's talk about the suspension first. So if you want to enable this new feature, you basically have to be in either comfort or the auto setting, and that way it'll automatically adjust your suspension for comfort. Now you do have this use comfort dampening in autopilot, which basically no matter what setting you use normally, when you turn autopilot on, it will change you to comfort. And so let me turn off autopilot really quick, and you can see it's in sport. I had put it there kind of to demonstrate to you. I have it in sport. I turn autopilot on, it automatically moves it back to comfort. Now I normally just keep it on auto, and that's where I like to keep it. So yeah, so that's how I use that. Now again, most of the time on a bumpy road, it'll just do it automatically, but we'll see if the message will pop up here in the driver display. We'll see if it pops up and, you know, see if we can see that or not, but kind of hard to know unless it's a specific message if it's doing it because of map data or if it's doing it because the road's already bumpy. So the next thing we can test out here is the in-cabin camera. It is here above, I think you can see that, but it's basically right above the rear view mirror. And there's a couple ways to test this. So let me go down to the speed limit here. And what you can do is you should be able to, I know my Model Y, if I just look at the screen, so right now I'm looking at the Tesla screen like I'm, changing my destination or something, and if I keep looking at the screen, it should beep at me and say, warning, look at the road here. So still nothing. Still nothing. In my Model Y for sure. Now my Model Y has beta, so it may be more sensitive to this setting, but I'm also looking at the road, don't worry. So maybe, the Model Y with beta is more sensitive to you looking at the screen. But yeah, so far, let me take my head off just to be sure. Head is like completely down. I keep glancing at the road, so I don't know if you can see my eyes doing that. I would assume not. So nothing from that, so that's pretty interesting. Let me pick up my phone. Now, I'm not looking at it, I'm looking at the road, but I'm gonna pretend like I'm looking at my phone right now. I'll stop at this stop sign. Now it's not gonna warn me if I'm not in autopilot here. So we'll get going. We'll turn autopilot back on. Again, I'm not actually looking at my phone. I'm just putting it up here so that the camera can see it. And if I glance at it, I am not getting anything out of that. So I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at the road, but my head is turned towards my phone. Yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to really care about that. Let me put the camera in front of me so you can see the difference. Okay, so now you'll just have to trust me, but there you go, autopilot is on, and I'm gonna look down at the screen so you can kind of see like what I was doing in my eyes. I was looking at the road, but kind of had my head down at the screen, and I know in my Model Y, that will trigger it, within seconds. So the fact that we're not getting anything triggering here makes me think it's just not as sensitive, or I don't know, they said it's enabled, but it's not. So this is what I was doing with my phone. I had it here, and I just had my head up. Again, in my Model Y, if I do this, I know it immediately beeps out. Immediately. The second I pick up my phone, it'll beep at me. So if I turn my head, we're about to be at a red light here, so that'll be a good test as well. My hand's on the wheel the whole time, so I don't know if that's also part of how it's deciding not to yell at me. The light turned green. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting anything out of that, so that's pretty strange. Again, in my Model Y, the stuff I just did, it would have been beeping all over the place. And it might have even given me a strike. It's very strict when you're on beta. So interesting that I'm not getting anything out of that for the X yet. Maybe that'll be refined in a future update. So next up, let's look for, I haven't seen the suspension message yet. Let's look for a green light to do a chime, which might be in a couple of hours or something. All right, let's finish this up with a green light chime. So we're at a red light, as you can see. And I'll cut to when the chime happens. All right, so there was the ding. Wow, that was pretty quiet. And I actually was looking down when it dinged. So it did catch my attention. I was just looking at the center console. And yeah, it had a quiet little ding, and that was it. So yeah, those are the features. I got drag strip mode ready here. I'm gonna go play with that. Maybe you can check that out in a future video if you want. Hit like, get subscribed, come back for that one. If you have any questions about this update or Tesla or whatever, leave them down below and I will answer those. Hope you enjoyed this one, and you will see me in the next video.